You're suffering with repeated bloating, gas, feeling nauseous, excess farting, abdominal discomfort, totally feeling uneasy. No matter what you eat, your stomach doesn't feel right. You've tried various online products, probiotics, cutting down on certain foods, cutting down on various carbs. You have eliminated gluten, cut out dairy. Nothing seems to be working. Your problem might not be actually what you're eating. It could be where and how it is being digested. And that is where small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, SIBO, that comes in. So SIBO is the short form. I'm Dr. Yoganand Reddy. I'm a senior medical gastroenterologist. In this video, I'm going to explain to you how we test for SIBO using a simple, non-invasive breath test, the hydrogen breath test it's called. Through this video, I will take you through exactly what it is, why we are doing this breath test, and what these results mean for your gut health. So let us start with what is SIBO. SIBO is the short form for small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. When we talk about gut bacteria, there are trillions. They live mainly in our large intestine, in the colon. So there is generally low concentrations of bacteria in our small intestine. When these bacteria starts to be more in the wrong place, so in the small intestine where they don't actually belong, what happens is the food what you're eating, they start to ferment too early. So it starts to create a lot of gas. You start to get a lot of bloating, sometimes visibly distended, uncomfortable feeling, cramping, loose motion. Sometimes when you pass gas, it's very offensive, stinky. Some people have other issues like they're not able to focus. They have something like a brain fog, not able to think properly, don't sleep very well. It is surprisingly very common, and sometimes people mistake it for IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. So this is where the hydrogen breath test comes in to diagnose properly. Why hydrogen breath test is done? It is because we need to figure out whether there is excess of bacteria in the wrong place in the small intestine that is causing unwanted fermentation of food what you're eating. When these bacteria are in higher quantities, they start to ferment the food early. So they produce gases, hydrogen gas, methane gas, that starts to enter the bloodstream, so which you can breathe out through your breath. This is what we measure in this test and can tell you whether you have SIBO. We can even get clues about what might be the cause of your repetitive gas problems, repetitive farting, repetitive bloating issues. It is certainly useful for people where they are suffering with symptoms that is not going away. They have made certain changes to their diet. They are constantly bloated. They feel that whatever they do, their gas problem is not going away. They sometimes are thinking that they are sensitive to various foods. That doesn't make any sense. So how is this test being done? It's a very simple test, as I mentioned. It is a non-invasive test, which means that there is no pain, no discomfort whatsoever. You'll be asked to prepare before the test. So you need to avoid certain foods for 24 hours. So our team will give instructions of what sort of foods you cannot eat. So you can't have too much of fiber or masala-rich foods, spices, oily, these kind of fried, fatty foods. And you will be advised to come in with overnight fasting to ensure the results are accurate. Once you come to the endoscopy unit, we will be collecting your first breath. So what we measure is what we call as a baseline sample to see what is the hydrogen gas level, what it is at the baseline. Then you'll be given a sugar drink to drink, usually lactulose or glucose drink. These sugars are chosen because the bacteria, if they are present in high concentrations in your small intestine, as the sugar liquid starts to go inside, they start feeding on this sugar. There will be fermentation that starts happening. So this is what, once you have had this sugar drink, then we will start the process of collecting the breath sample. So you will be just asked to blow into a tube every 15 to 20 minutes over the next 1.5 hours. So this machine measures how much of hydrogen gas is present in each sample every time you are blowing out. This obviously we compare to what is taken as a baseline, and every 20 minutes. So if we start seeing very early rise in the hydrogen gas levels, which means that you might be suffering from bacterial overgrowth, or what we call as SIBO. If it comes back as positive, it doesn't mean that there is something serious. It means that your problem has been identified. It means there is an issue with your gut microbe. There is some disturbance. So there is overgrowth of bacteria in the wrong place. So this takes over the effects of the good bacteria. So it is not at all complicated. It is a simple thing to fix. There are specific medicines. There are certain dietary changes. There is some lifestyle changes that we would recommend to get your symptoms sorted, especially those who are suffering from SIBO. They respond fantastically well with this kind of treatment. So if you're constantly getting bloated, gassy, don't guess and stop taking all this online rubbish which people are selling nowadays, and all these gut resets, gut cleansers. These are all non-validated things. There is waste of money. Hydrogen breath test done in gastroenterology institutes like ours, it can help identify what is going on in your gut, especially whether or not you have bacterial overgrowth in the small intestine, and it can actually give a good guide to the treatment that works. So if you have found this video helpful, please subscribe to this educational channel and also forward it to someone who might be struggling with repeated bloating, repeated gas issues, or they are thinking that they have various food sensitivities, they don't know what to eat. They will benefit from this simple test from Bangalore Gastro Center hospitals. Thank you.